Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shri Radha Madan Mohan
Shri Radha Madan Mohan Bhagwan ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapat Kamlam Shri Gurana Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagratam Sahagarnaganatvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanitamascha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhakscha kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Nashtapreshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswati Vyasan Tato Jayamudirate. So I welcome you all for the class, Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's the Canto 10, chapter 45, and the shloka is 38. Tathe athuryaha maharathuratham
Tate aturathurya maharatauratam
Prabhasam ashadya duranta vikramo
Prabhasam asadajya duranta vikramo
Velam upavrajya nishidatu ashanam
Velam upavrajya nishidato krishnam
Sindura vidhivarhanam aharatatayo
Sindur viditvarthanam aharatayo
Tatho iti yatharuha ratho maharatho. Sorry.
Tetya atharurya maharatauratam
Tam prabhasamasadya duranta vikramo
Prabhasam asadya duranta vikramo
Velamupavrajya nishidhatu shanam
Velam upavrajya nishidatau krishnam
Sindura vidhivarhanam maharatatayo
Sindur viditvararhanam aharatayo
Tathayatharuha maharatho ratham
Tetya attaruya maharatauratam
Prabhasam asadya duranta vikramo
Prabhasam asadya duranta vikramo
Velamupavrajya nishidhatu shanam
Velam upavrajya nishidatu krishnam
Sindur vidhivarhanam maharatatayo
Sindu viditvarhanam aharatayo Zubla.
They want to read.
Yeah, normally they do that. Janaki Jivan is not there. Nandimukhi, I see. Rani, she doesn't do. Divya Bhakti Mataji, can you do please? She's not there?
So let's.
Oh, she's coming. Can you hear me? Divya Bhakti Mataji, you are on mute.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Can you do?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Usha Mataji, would you like to chant the verse?
I'm driving, sorry.
So you do.
They are doing one by one, they do normally. Let's see. She's up.
Yes.
Should I start with the word meaning? Word meanings, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sorry, yeah, this is by Prabhupada disciples. So Srila Prabhupada, this canto has been actually translated by Prabhupada disciple. So all glories to the disciple, the senior most disciples of Srila Prabhupada. The translation is done by them. The word meanings, just repeat after me. Tatha,
Tata,
so be it.
so be it.
Iti, saying this. Atha, then. Aruha, mounting. Maharathau, the two great charioteers.
The two great chariots.
Ratham, a chariot. Prabhasam, Prabhastirath. Asadya, reaching. Duranta, limitless. Vikramau, whose brows. Velam, up to the shore. Upavrajya, walking. Nishidhatuta, they sat down. Shanam, for a moment. Sindhua, the presiding demigod of the ocean. Viditva, recognizing. Arhanam, respectful offering. Arhat, brought. Tayo, for them. Translation, just repeat after me. So be it. Replied those two great charioteers of limitless might, and they at once mounted their chariot and set off for Prabhas. When they reached that place, they walked up to the shore and sat down. In a moment, the deity of the ocean, recognizing them to be the supreme lords, approached them with offerings of tribute. So as we know, the context, what is going on is Krishna and Balaram, they both have accepted Sandipa Muni as their guru, and they have gone with the learning of the 64 arts from him in 64 days, though they don't need to, but yet they are setting an example for us that how, when in a human form one needs a guru, one needs a spiritual master to actually go out of the cycle of birth and death, one needs the initiation by the guru, take the shelter of a guru, surrender to a guru. So here when their learning is over, when they have been asked to leave and go back to their home, the dakshina has to be given. So that remuneration has to be given. So what they chose, the last translation, if you have attended yesterday's session, it must be, O king, the learned Brahmana Sandipamani carefully considered the two lords' glorious and amazing qualities and their superhuman intelligence. Then, after consulting with his wife, he chose as his remuneration the return of his young son who had died in the ocean at Prabhas. So that's what they asked in the Guru Dakshina. It's the duty of the disciple to offer the Guru Dakshina. So Dakshina has to be offered to the spiritual master. Unless you offer the Dakshina, your learning is not complete, your service is not complete. So when they actually asked for the Guru Dakshina, what they demanded, they consulted the Guru's wife, and they demanded that their son might be returned to them who had drowned in the ocean of Prabhas. So now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says here in the purport, the child was captured by the conch shell demon while playing at the Maha Shiva Kshetra. So while he was playing at the shore of the ocean, he was actually drowned and he was captured. It was said, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says about here that he was kidnapped or he was captured by the conch shell demon. That's a Panchajanya conch shell. That's Krishna's conch shell. It's called Panchajanya. So here he got this conch shell from here. When the Mahabharata started, that was the conch shell he blew. The first conch shell that went off was the Panchajanya. So the Western scholars here say, I'll just read the translation once again of the Shloka 38, the text 38. So be it. So be it is replied those two great charioteers. Those two great charioteers are whom? Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. The two great charioteers of limitless might. They have the might, the strength that cannot be measured. They both are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they at once mounted their chariot. When they just heard that their Guru demanded this Dakshina they have to pay, they rode on the chariot and they set off for Prabhas. And they went away to the ocean shore at Prabhas. When they reached that place, they walked up to the shore and sat down. In a moment, the deity of the ocean, recognizing them. So the deity of the ocean, that's the demigod, who recognized them, who knew that they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we read every day when we read the 10 offenses we should not commit towards the holy name. The second one, we every day read that the Shiv Brahma, they are all demigods. They should not be placed equal or they should not be worshipped at the same stature as Krishna himself. So here the demigod of ocean, he recognized the Supreme Personality of Godhead because the demigods are supposed to be serving the Supreme Lord. They are the energies of the Supreme Lord. So he quickly recognized Krishna and Balaram. And what then happened? He approached them with offerings of tribute. So whenever the demigods, whenever they have darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they offer their obeisances, they offer that we know, they sing the glories of Krishna. In the prayers of Gajendra, we have seen, in the other prayers, we have seen that when even Dhruva was given darshan by Krishna, as a child, he did not know anything. He did not know the Sanskrit. He could not speak the verses to glorify Krishna. But as soon as Krishna touched his conch shell on his head, he was glorifying Krishna. So he was singing the verses in Sanskrit. Likewise, when the ocean, the deity of ocean, he was there. He came up and he paid tribute offerings to the Supreme Lord. So in the purport, the Western scholars sometimes think that references in ancient books of wisdom to the deity of the ocean, the deity of the sun, and so on reveal a primitive mythical way of thinking. They sometimes say that primitive men think that the ocean is a god or that the sun and moon are gods. So sometimes the Western scholars, they think that when the references are made to the deity of ocean, or there is a sun god, there is a moon god, they think this is mythic. This is actually mythical. It's myth. It's just our illusion. It's primitive. It's not modern. It's not science. They deny all this. They call it as a myth. They call it's not only the Western scholars, now all over the world sometimes they call these scriptures a myth. They cannot understand the depth of the scriptures. So that's the only one word they have with them is that this is myth. These are the knowledge that's not true, it's mythical. So mythical means that is not, it's just a story. It's nothing that happened. But Srimad Bhagavatam is our history. It did happen. So whatever is said here, it did happen. It was there. It was actually Krishna's deeds as a human when he came and performed. Here Sandipa Muni actually recognized them, but then they were performing their human-like activities just for us, for setting an example for us. So the Western scholars think it to be a mythical way of thinking. They sometimes say that primitive men think ocean is a god, or that the sun or the moon are gods. In fact, references to such words as the word Sindhu in this verse, meaning the ocean, indicate the person who governs that aspect of physical nature. So it's explained here that the Sindhu in this verse means the ocean. It indicates the person who governs the aspect of physical nature, who governs this ocean. The beautiful example has been given here that we can give several modern examples. In the United Nations, we may say the United Nations votes yes and the Soviet Union votes no. We hardly mean that the physical countries or the buildings in them have voted. So very beautiful example has been given here for us. When we go out for preaching and somebody asks us, we can definitely give this example. Then when we talk about the United States is actually voting in the United Nations when there is a veto going on, and when the United States votes yes, it doesn't mean the buildings or the physical buildings or the physical nature of United States is voting. It's actually the person who is representing United States, he is voting on the behalf of the people of United States. So this example, it says, we hardly mean that the physical countries or the buildings in them have voted. We mean that a particular person representing that political and geographical entity has voted. Yet the newspaper will simply say the United States voted, decided, etc. And everyone knows what that means. When the head of the state makes a decision, and it's actually said the country has made the decision, because the head of the state is representing the people of the country. So likewise, it is said here, the ocean deity, the ocean is represented by, the deity is there, the ocean, the controller of the ocean, that is the demigod of ocean, he was there. Similarly, in business, we may say a large conglomerate has swallowed up a smaller firm. We hardly mean that the building's office equipment have physically swallowed another building full of workers and office equipment. When one company takes over another company, it doesn't mean we say the bigger fish has eaten up the smaller fish in the corporate sector. So it doesn't mean the big business has literally eaten up the smaller business. He hasn't eaten up, the big building has not eaten up the smaller building. It is actually it is just for saying we say that. So unfortunately, it is said here, we mean that the empowered authorities have engaged in a particular act on the behalf of their respective corporate entities. Unfortunately, modern scholars are eager to confirm their pet theories that ancient spiritual wisdom is primitive, mythical, and largely supplanted by more modern ways of thinking. So it is just that the modern scholars, they actually are eager to confirm their own theories that ancient spiritual wisdom is just a myth. It is primitive, it's not acceptable in this era. It was written so many years back, thousands of years back. It does not go with the practical today's life. But that is all. It is said here, it is not that. They think this, but it is not that. It is here and largely supplanted by more modern ways of thinking, exemplified by their own eloquent remarks. So they actually want to brainwash the people. They want to put the modern theories in their mind that needs to be edited all the time. All the time these theories are being edited, and still they want people to believe them. But Srimad Bhagavatam has never been edited. It doesn't need any editing because it's complete in itself. So here it says in the last line, however much in the modern scholarship must be rethought in the light of Krishna consciousness. So this is a concluding line of the purport, that the modern scholarship, the modern minds, the modern scholars, they should actually must be rethought in the light of Krishna consciousness. Without being Krishna conscious, not without being in the consciousness of the spiritual Supreme Personality of Godhead, not being spiritual, one cannot make the right decisions. Bhagavad Gita teaches us to make right decisions. Often I say when we are giving classes, it's there that Bhagavad Gita was spoken, Srimad Bhagavatam was written for us to understand the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, the pastimes of the devotees, so that the principle, because the Bhagavad Gita has got the principle in it. So by studying Bhagavad Gita, we get to know the principle of life, what we have to do in this life. So we are actually trained by the Supreme Lord himself while he is speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, his best friend. That is coming to us, that how we should train our mind to make the right decisions in life. And here the concluding line itself says, they should all be made in the light of Krishna consciousness. So that is why this chapter is very important, where the glories of the Guru has been sung. That how Krishna, he never questioned his Guru, he didn't say. Guru knew that he had the pras, he had the power. He is the Supreme Personality. So that's why they demanded such a big thing. Who would ask to get a dead son back? The Sandeepa Muni knew that he could get it. That's why he asked that dakshana. He said, get my dead son back. And Krishna never said anything and just went on. Krishna and Balram, they quickly mounted the chariot and they were off to get the dead son of their Guru back. So this is shown that the surrender to the Guru is so important in our life. It's very, very important. I'm going to read few quotes on Guru by Srila Prabhupada also. So Guru is in our life plays a role that nobody else can do that. Guru cannot be replaced. A spiritual master, a bona fide spiritual master cannot be replaced in our life by any other person. There is no option. So Srila Prabhupada has often, I have many quotes with him about what he says. He says, it says here that the conclusion is that a spiritual master who is authorized and empowered by Krishna and his own Guru should be considered as good as the Supreme Personality of God himself. That is the verdict of Vishwanath Chakravarti. Sakshadhari Tvena. So it says here, as Hari is free to act as he likes, the empowered spiritual master is also free. As Hari is not subject to mundane rules and regulations, the spiritual master, empowered by him, is also not subject. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 10.136, the purport says this. Then Srila Prabhupada said in a lecture on May 6, 1975 in Perth, he says, therefore you have to take the parampara meaning, because we are foolish, we cannot understand properly. Tad vijnanam artham sa gurum avabhichayita. Therefore, one has to go to Guru and understand the meaning by parampara. You cannot make your own meaning. The meaning is already there. But if you cannot understand, then you should approach Guru and understand the meaning by parampara. So clearly he is telling, you have to approach the bona fide disciplic succession, the Guru coming through disciplic succession, and who is bona fide. One must approach him and understand the meaning that is already there in the scriptures. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. In the Nectar of Instruction, text 5, the purport says that. There is possibility that a first-class devotee will, it says here, when one has attained the topmost position of Mahabhagavat, he is to be accepted as a Guru and worshipped exactly like Hari, the personality of Godhead. Only such a person is eligible to occupy the post of a Guru. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 24.330 purport. So, furthermore, Prabhupada says, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Anta Leela 5.71 purport, it says there, a spiritually advanced person who acts with authority as the spiritual master speaks as the Supreme Personality of Godhead dictates from within. So a Guru speaks what he gets in dictation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's clearly mentions here, thus it is not that he is personally speaking. When a pure devotee or spiritual master speaks, what he says should be accepted as having been directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Parampara system. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antalila 5.71 purport. So Prabhupada speaks here about that how the spiritual master is to be respected, how a spiritual master has to be accepted. He has to be accepted as his words, as they are coming from the Parampara, as they are coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So there are plenty of quotes I have. Here he says again, such an acharya or a spiritual master should be considered non-different from Krishna. That is, he should be considered the incarnation of Lord Krishna's potency. Such a personality is Krishna Lingita Vigraha. That is Krishnangal Ligita Vigraha. That is, he is always embraced by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the Guru or spiritual master for the entire world, a devotee on the topmost platform, a Mahabhagavat stage, and a Paramhansa Thakura, a spiritual form only fit to be addressed as Paramhansa or Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 25.9 purport. So from different purports of the Chaitanya Charitamrita or the Bhagavatam, we see where it's mentioned that how a spiritual master is to be glorified, how his words are to be accepted. And he is said to be here Krishna Lingita Vigraha. It's Krishna's Ang. He is actually a part of Krishna. His mercy is Krishna's potency. One should understand spiritual master to be as good as I am, said the blessed Lord. The spiritual master is the sum total of all demigods. That is, the Acharya has been identified with God himself. Srila Prabhupada said in a lecture in 1936, it's a February lecture 1936. Yeah, I'm actually, it was written there and I took it. I have yet to search about it, but the words in itself are clear here.
Actually, took initiation that time.
Yeah. So one should understand that the spiritual master is as good as I am. We know that's the blessed Lord says that. Krishna says that. That's why he took up a spiritual master to show us. And he is taking the words of the spiritual master as it is. He's following them. The spiritual master or the acharya is always situated in the spiritual status of life. Birth, death, old age and disease do not affect him. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.4.20 purport. Therefore, after the disappearance of an acharya, his body is never burned to ashes, for it is a spiritual body. The spiritual body is always unaffected by material conditions. So this is our spiritual master, how a guru has to be treated. So guru is not different to Krishna himself. So I'm just gonna again share with you all. It says here, according to Shastra, the duty of a guru is to take the disciple back home, back to Godhead. If he is unable to do so and instead hinders the disciple in going back to Godhead, he should not be a guru. Gurur na sayat. That's the Bhagavatam says, 5.5.18. One should not become a guru if he cannot enable his disciple to advance in Krishna consciousness. That's why the guru is always worried about the advancement of his disciples in Krishna consciousness. The goal of life is to become a devotee of Lord Krishna so that one may be free from the bondage of material existence. The spiritual master helps the disciple to attain the stage by developing Krishna consciousness. Anyone who is supposed to be a guru but who goes against the principle of Vishnu Bhakti cannot be accepted as guru. If one has falsely accepted such a guru, one should reject him. So these are the quotes by Srila Prabhupada. In the purport, it's written in the 7th canto, chapter 7 and verse 30. So these many quotes from Prabhupada, I have actually recorded them, put them in my laptop, just for the reference. When it comes about guru, one should be very clear about what the guru, actually who the guru is, and what should be our responsibility, our surrender, how it should be towards the spiritual master. It says in the Mundaka Upanishad, I've quoted that, the age-old Vedic literature of India tells us clearly how to enter into spiritual life. One must approach a spiritual master if he desires spiritual realization. That's from the Mundaka Upanishad 1.2.12. It says here that one should who desires the spiritual life, one who is desiring this, that he wants to lead a spiritual life, he should enter into the, it says, the realm where he can surrender to the spiritual master. One should actually try to surrender to the spiritual master. Surrender means taking the instructions of the spiritual master and following them. Srila Prabhupada here says again, you should not, it says, as a fashion, you should not accept a spiritual master as a matter of fashion. So these days in Kali Yuga, we see people when they hear, oh, you should have a spiritual master, they are eager to have a photo, or they are eager to accept any person as a spiritual master as a fashion. So Prabhupada strictly says that it should not be done as a matter of fashion or because yoga and meditation are in. You should nor should you approach a spiritual master to find out how to get better grades, how to relax. These things have nothing to do with self-realization. The goal of real spiritual life is to attain self-realization. Self-realization means to know who am I, from where have I come, and what I have to do in this Mrityu Loka, on this planet. So that is self-realization, knowing your own self, who you are. So Prabhupada clearly says here, not as a fashion you should accept a spiritual master, nor you should approach a spiritual master to know how to get better grades or how to relax, because these things are not connected to self-realization. Of course, if you want something else, there are many so-called yogis and gurus who for a modest fee will be happy to oblige you. That may be a big business, but spiritual life is another thing entirely. Spiritual life is a business. It's not a business. It's not a trading with God. That is called trading with God, where you go to astrologers and you also accept them as your gurus, or you go to a yogi and you go after his siddhis. But then that is not spiritual life. The age-old Vedic literature of India tells us clearly how to enter spiritual life. One must approach a spiritual master if he desires spiritual realization. The aspirant should surrender to a spiritual master if he is genuinely inquisitive about the highest goal of life. That's from Bhagavatam again, 11.3.21. It says here, one should genuinely be when he is inquisitive, genuinely inquisitive, sincerely he is inquisitive to understand the goal of human life, then he should approach a spiritual master who is bona fide, who is from disciplic succession. And in the Puranas, a more recent part of the Vedic literature, it is said, there are many so-called gurus who are very expert in plundering the money of their disciples. But rarely can one find a spiritual master who can free his disciples from all material anxieties. So, rarely you can find such a spiritual master who can free you from all material anxieties, who makes you liberated while you're alive. The liberation is not what you get after death. The real liberation is when you are very much alive and you are liberated from all sense gratification. That is the real liberation. If you are liberated while alive, then only you are entitled to get liberation after death. One cannot just expect that he will die one day and will be liberated. One has to be liberated very much while alive. Other day I was giving a class and somebody just questioned me. Now that's very difficult. You say that follow this, surrender to the Guru, surrender and be detached. That's very difficult in this life. So I said, that's not me saying, that's Krishna says. He says clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, Yona harshati na dvaishati na shauchati na kankshati shubha shubharityagi bhaktamane samapriya. He says, a devotee who is very dear to me is like this. He is never happy when he receives a lot of things, material things, and he is very happy on getting them. Nor he regrets. If he doesn't get anything, he never regrets also. That's a pure devotee. And then, Yona harshati na dveshti, he is not hateful to anybody. He does not hate anybody on this planet. He never hates his own enemy. He is actually not hating his own enemy. He doesn't hate anybody on this planet. whosoever he may be, the other person may be, whether he is a thief or a robber or anybody he may be, a murderer even. But the devotee who is very dear to Krishna does not hate anybody. So Krishna says that, Yona harshati na dveshati na shochati. He doesn't regret any, if he loses anything in this life, he does not regret. He may get separated from his near and dear ones, anything may happen to him. He does not actually complains about it. So na harshati, na dveshati, na shochati, na akankshati. And neither he has any desires. Akankshati means desires, the material desires that keep on flooding our mind, they keep on flooding our thoughts, one after the other. One desire is fulfilled, the other one just actually it overpowers us. So Krishna clearly says he is not akankshati. Shubha Ashubha Parityagi. He is actually Shubha Ashubha Parityagi. He has no auspicious moment and not any inauspicious moment in his life. So Shubha Ashubha Parityagi, he's renounced everything, Tyag. He's renounced those moments. He does not say this is inauspicious and that is auspicious. Because he knows all the moments are of Krishna. That's why Prabhupada said for all the devotees, every day is Kartik. It's not only the Kartik month is Kartik for them. Because some people, the temples will be flooded during Kartik. When the month of Kartik comes, people will come they perform all the austerities. It's good. If the whole year they haven't performed any austerity of coming for Mangala Arati, staying for Guru Puja, or listening to the class in the temple, it's good for them in the month of Kartik. They become a bit serious in that. But for pure devotees, those who really are actually in devotion, those who want to surrender, for them every day is Kartik. There is no option for them for Mangala Arati. Every day they have to do the Mangala Arati, attend the Mangala Arati. If in the temple or at home, wherever they are placed, they have to do it. So there is no option for them. So that is Krishna says, Shubha Parityagi Bhakta Mane Sama Priye. Such a devotee is very dear to me. So who is such a devotee? Only a dead person can be such a devotee, who has no thoughts of his own, no desires of his own. He is absolutely fully surrendered. He has no emotions, like when he is separated from others, he doesn't have any emotions. So this actually that's liberation. A person who is at a Mahabhagavat stage, he is liberated like that. He is not only liberated from his mind, the liberation he has attained from his mind, he has physically also we can see they get liberated. They may be suffering health issues, but we see that those health issues don't bother them at all. So this is how it is a genuine bona fide spiritual master is. That's why Prabhupada says here clearly that the highest goal of life, self-realization, puts you beyond the happiness and distress. So that says, Yona harshati na dveshati. So real self, the highest goal of life, self-realization, puts you beyond the happiness and distress. The pleasure and pain. It takes you beyond the pleasure and pain of this material world. So who is really surrendered and he is bound he has accepted the path of self-realization. He will be free from all happiness and distress. He will be free from all pain and pleasure of this material life. Life in this material world is full of perplexities. So perplexed mind, the disturbed mind. So there is all kinds of disturbances in this world. We all know. Every time we open up these days newspapers are not in fashion, but when you open up your phone, the Google is so kind, it will put all the current affairs on for you to read, which you avoid while reading the newspaper. Because once I was in a long time back when people were reading like Times of India or Hindustan Times in India. So I remember a senior devotee saying, it's not Times of India we read in the morning, it's Sins of India we read. So as you open up the newspaper, you are looking for you will see everything that is bad happening in the world will be on the front page. That attracts you. Where the war is going on, where somebody has been raped, where somebody has been murdered. These are all sins of India. Sins of the world now. Google gives you the sins of the world. All over the world what's happening, who's been kidnapped, who has been killed, where the war has happened, where the terrorist attack has happened, and that interests people a lot. So that is what it says here. The pleasure and the pain of this material life, life in this material world is full of perplexities. And a person who sincerely wants to find a solution to the perplexities of life should search out a genuine spiritual master. So those who are really want to find a solution to these disturbances of world, what they do is they actually search for a genuine spiritual master. So when we call out for a genuine spiritual master, then what happens? Krishna becomes kind to us. He's very kind, he becomes kinder. He actually manifests the spiritual master before us. As soon as we enter ISKCON temples, I often tell to new devotees, new people who visit, I tell them, as soon as you enter the temple, Srila Prabhupada is your Shiksha Guru. He is your instructing master immediately as you have entered. You should take his instructions. And if you follow his instructions, Krishna will be very happy with you. He will shower his mercy, and soon then you will find your initiating spiritual master. He will manifest before you. So as you have entered the temple, that is somebody has brought you here, Marpadaksha Guru. That is somebody has just brought you here. So and now you have received the blessings of the instrument. As soon as you enter, you bow down before Srila Prabhupada, you have received his mercy. So you follow his instructions. So here I have read the quotes from Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada again says, in approaching the genuine spiritual master, a person should show the same submissiveness as Arjuna did in the Bhagavad Gita, where he said to Krishna, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me clearly what is the best for me. Now I am your disciple and soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Bhagavad Gita 2.7, Shishyastayam Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. I become your disciple. When Arjuna submissively, actually, he submits to Krishna, surrenders to Krishna, then Krishna started speaking the Bhagavad Gita. He was just listening to Arjuna before that. But when Arjuna accepted him as his spiritual master, when he said, I surrender, I become your disciple. The problem with us is, we are looking for a guru, but we don't want to become a disciple. Disciple means discipline. Disciple means who follows the rules and regulations, who take the words of the spiritual master as it is. That's a disciple. So we are looking for a guru as a fashion. That guru thing is in these days. Somebody, we have a picture at home, we tell them, oh, this is our guru. So they say, oh, you are very religious, you are very spiritual. But that's what we love to hear in our ears. But if you really want a real spiritual life, you have to become a disciple, like Arjuna. So when Arjuna surrendered, that's how Krishna started speaking he gave the sermon to him, he gave the Bhagavad Gita to him. Unless we are surrendered, Krishna will not reveal before us. The spiritual master will not manifest before us. If we are genuine seekers, then Krishna's blessings will flow to us. So this is how a spiritual master has to be taken, because Prabhupada says here that how Arjuna actually said that now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to clearly tell me what is best for me. So this is how one should approach the spiritual master, that I am a fool, please bless me and please guide me. What is the best for me? What should I do in this life? And a genuine spiritual master, we all know, would only take us to Krishna. He is the medium who would take us to Krishna. So one has to surrender. Once I was reading somewhere, it said, like you cannot heat the milk, you cannot boil the milk without a utensil on the fire. You cannot directly put the milk on the fire. You need a utensil there. So that's the guru. That's the middleman. That is the person who is the contact between you and Krishna. Only he can make it happen. There is nobody else who can let it happen. So, but a genuine spiritual master, provided you are also very sincere, you are sincerely like Dhruva. He was very sincere. He was very inquisitive and very sincerely, honestly, he was yelling and screaming for the Supreme Lord. He was searching for the Supreme Lord with full genuinity. Krishna is in our hearts as Paramatma. He knows everything. So he knew that Dhruva is calling for him. And for testing him, what he did then, he is going around screaming, yelling, and then came the Guru who takes the final test. And Narad Muni appeared before him. And he took the test. He said, go back, go to your palace. You are a son of a king. What are you doing in a forest? Go back. But then what did Dhruva said? He said, you better take your own way. I am in search of God and I want to search God. If you can help me, it's very well. You please help me. If you cannot, you take your way. And then Dhruva's was the determination. Dhruv word means determination. And when Dhruva's determination was actually seen by Naraji, he completely he gave in and he accepted him as his disciple. And when he was accepted as a disciple, the mantra was given for meditation, and there, with such sincerity and with genuinity, Dhruva was performing the austerity of chanting the holy name. Krishna had to appear. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before Dhruva. And like it is said, Dhruva and Prahlad are the two heroes of Srimad Bhagavatam. They are the genuine seekers of Krishna. They are the blessed souls. One should accept them as their ideals. So as I am a writer of the book of Vaishnava teachings in Sikhism also, I put out the similarities and make the bridges so that they break the barriers and all be one. So it's written in the Gurbani, the Granth Sahib also, Ram Japoji aise aise, Dhruv Prahlad Japyo Har jaise. So chant the holy name just like Dhruv and Prahlad did it. So Dhruv and Prahlad chanted the name of Hari, just like that one should chant the holy name. So this is confirmed. Yes, these two are our heroes and we should accept, because they accepted spiritual master and Naraji is their spiritual master. And both of them got knowledge from their spiritual master and became determined in the spiritual life. So that is how this chapter, we are reading the 45th chapter. It is actually the glories of that's how a guru is, that's how a surrender to guru is, shown by the Supreme Personality himself. So Krishna and Balram themselves, they are showing us the path of self-realization. So it's very important for us to follow this path of self-realization under the shelter of a bona fide spiritual master. And that's the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That is the parampara we have. So if we are at the right place at the right time, and if we follow the instructions and take the guidance of the initiating spiritual master, we will also be able to realize the path and be on this, I said, as the self-realization. And if we follow this path, the Prabhupada has assured his disciples, he has assured his grand disciples, he has assured his great-grand disciples, that if they chant the 16 rounds and they eat prasadam and they follow the 4 regulative principles, they are bound to go back to Godhead. So that is the assurance he has given, and we accept his words as it is. So we are very fortunate to be here, and I am very fortunate to be in the ISKCON Vancouver. Soon I am leaving for India back. So I am very fortunate that I was here and I could serve here with some of my classes. I thank everybody, those who are watching on Zoom and those who are watching all over the world on my YouTube channel. I thank all of you. I thank the temple authorities for inviting me. I'm blessed to be here. Hare Krishna. So anybody who has any questions can ask me.
Thank you, Mataji. What a wonderful class. Okay, coming to all this searching, we always say that Mother Earth has got a goddess whom we call Bhu Devi. How to find, always I wonder, we always say ocean god is there, moon god is there, sun god is there. But I am on this earth. But personality of this earth, what is I couldn't understand very well.
The Bhudevi, it is the Mother Earth.
Yeah,
She's one of the mother. In
That's-
seven
yeah,
mothers,
the
she's
form.
one of the mother. And it is said Bhudevi does not accept, I was reading in Bhagavatam, Bhudevi, she does not, Mother Earth does not accept a liar. If a person is a liar, she cannot take him. She does not accept it. A liar is unacceptable to Mother Earth. And then Mother Earth, when Dhruva was even performing the austerity, it says the thumb of his foot, he was standing on the toes, and his thumb of his foot was actually pressing the Mother Earth down in the, it was going deeper into the ocean, it would have sunk. And she came before Krishna and requested, please go and give darshan, because his austerities are actually becoming very heavy for me. So this is Mother Earth. So she went to Krishna and she is Mother Earth representing. So this is how she actually happy when there is yajna is being performed. Then only she gives everything what we want. Otherwise we do not get what we are looking for, the anubhutani we say. So only because of the yajnas, Mother Earth replenishes everything she gives us. But then Mother Earth is unhappy when we perform like demonic qualities, they come up in us. So Mother Earth is not happy about it. So that is, I have read in the Bhagavatam, Mother Earth, how she represents.
That's right.
Haribol.
Now, when you are telling me the answer, it reminds me, Prabhupada also says, can you show me God? Many people ask. But do you have the quality to see the God?
Yeah.
That's what I give the example. Let's say you want to see the President Nixon at that time. Is it possible? You have to undergo
You have to.
different channels before you approach it.
Yes.
So if you can't see a physically person here, what you are expecting of the God?
God.
Come.
So if you want to see Krishna, you got to, that's why I say always, the Krishna says that if you have faith in me, I'll reveal before you. But bring the faith in me, and such unflinching faith. Not a faith that is bewildered all the time. Unflinching faith is. And Rupa Goswami says only the lalyam, the deep greed in you to go back to Godhead or to see Krishna, that is only the qualification you should have if you want to become a sincere devotee. A deep greed in you for Krishna, greed in you for the Supreme Lord, not for material things. So that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
And Zoomland, can you hear me first? Please, someone answer.
No.
That's okay. That's good. So you are all there and you are hearing. That's good enough. So Mataji is asking any questions or comments.
Any comment, any question?
Very nice to have you, Mataji, in the temple and on all the programs. And really very nice, feeling very nice to hear all your classes and all the lectures. They're really good. I'm really
Thank you.
inspired.
Thank you, Mataji. Any
Hope to see you next time.
Haribol, sure. Krishna willingly. Hare Krishna. So we
Okay.
end the
If
session.
people are not there, I have a few important things I noted first time I was hearing. Let me share with you. You said liberate while alive, not after death. I really like that sentence.
Liberate while alive.
We can liberate ourselves now, not wait until our death and enjoy this material world also, which is Krishna. Thank you. And you're mentioning that we look for a guru, but we don't want to be a student or disciple.
Yes.
That's also wonderful. That's a become fashion, as you said. I never heard such analogy. I really appreciate it. And one more, the last we mentioned, interesting thing is to boil the milk, you need a vessel. And that is the guru. You just directly can't go to the fire and get boiled to see Krishna.
Yes. The guru is very important in life. Haribol. So
Hare Krishna.
we end the session here. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapurana ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Madan Mohan Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Gaunitai ki jai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, ISKCON Vancouver ki jai.
Radhika Krpa Devi Mata ki jai. Thank you, Mataji. We wish you a